What's up, everybody? I'm Msinfinity.
I am Michael.
He's also a dork. So anyway, today we are back with my health miniseries, and today the topic is epilepsy. Super fun stuff. So I'm going to go over basically kind of like what I did with the fibro video. If you watched that, go over some of the basics. Go over some of the basics with it. Some things that, you know, you might not know, statistical stuff, and then my personal experience living with it, and Michael over here, I'm sorry, I stuttered. Anyway, Michael over here is going to kind of give you some idea of what it's like to live with someone who has epilepsy. So, it could be informational, educational. I was trying to combine those two words and it did not work out so well.
Informagical.
Yeah, informagical. It's going to be informagical for you. Hopefully. But,
intriguing, yet highly disturbing.
He likes to play Cards Against Humanity a lot.
That was Cards Against Humanity.
Sure it is. A card in Cards Against Humanity is what would Grandma find interesting yet, disturbing yet oddly charming.
Mm-hmm. I know the actual quote, intriguing yet highly disturbing, wasn't from that. Either way, epilepsy.
Yeah, so,
Every time I show up, everything gets goofy.
Every time. Doesn't matter what's going on. Every time. But anywho, so let's delve into this lovely world of epilepsy.
Nice use on the word delve there.
Thank you. I have a high vocabulary. I have a very extensive. I think both of them are technically correct.
Expansive.
Anyway, I've got a pretty big vocabulary. Sometimes I don't remember how to use the words, but they're there.
Me say big word. Me do good.
But anyway, let's delve into this.
Me punch.
Epilepsy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for Michael.
Hey, it's a very serious topic, but that doesn't mean that we can't try to have a little bit of fun talking about it.
Yeah, make it not as stressful.
Because, I mean, it is a very serious, very stressful
topic.
Downer of a topic. I mean,
yeah.
It's kind of hard not to feel bad with it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can get a laugh in here or there. It kind of makes it, feel not as bad.
A little more.
And that's why I'm here.
Worth listening
Comic
to.
relief.
It's true. It's true. So, anywho. Alright, getting into this now that we've wasted almost 3 minutes goofing off.
Not 1. Not 2. 3.
Almost 3. Anyway.
It will be in 5 seconds.
Shut up.
6, 3, 2, 1. Bingo!
Alright. So, anyway. Alright, so, same as what I did with the fibro video. Textbook definition, couple little tidbits of information, and then going into questions that people have asked me about it.
Epilepsy. Defined as a neurological disorder marked by sudden recurrent episodes of sensory disturbance, loss of consciousness, convulsions, and associated with abnormal electrical activity in the brain.
Look at him reading my crappy handwriting.
Looks better than mine. Mine looks like a mangled chicken. It is the 4th most common neurological disorder that affects people of all ages. It's not, like a later in life thing. The chicken's getting her. No, she probably mentioned on the fibro one, a lot of people, it's generally in people, kind of mid-40s and up. Epilepsy isn't like that. Epilepsy, it can literally be, genetic or developed later on through any kind of series of circumstances. You hit your head wrong, or some doctors even try to say it can be caused by very traumatic experiences and other things of that nature. Heck, even some, well, at least on the seizure part, just too much drugs or, stuff like that can cause it and everything too, but
well, see, those are just seizures. Epilepsy.
Either way, epilepsy itself
is
like, there's no age limit at all.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it can lay dormant and manifest later in life But, I mean, there's even stories of people whose babies, like, out of the womb are born with it. Like, immediately with it. And, hell, they probably still have better handwriting than I do. But, either way, epilepsy is diagnosed if a person has 2 or more unprovoked seizures, or one with the likelihood of more, where they will, they'll do tests, EEGs. I am not attempting to pronounce how that actually is.
EEG stands for electroencephalogram. That is the machine that they use.
Electrical encephalogram.
It's the machine that they use to do the test.
Put a bunch of sensors on your head and on your chest and monitor brain waves while they do tests, like make you look at strobe lights, white noise, food or sleep deprivation.
Those aren't in typical EEGs. Those are
long-term EEGs. Either way, there's the short-term, long-term. Basically, if they can manage to get a seizure registered within, about 20 minutes versus 2 weeks. Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
And, it can be related to brain injury. More often than not, it's usually genetic. And, again, it can show up, at any point. It can lay dormant for years. Heck, your first one was until 16, 17?
Yep. Right around there.
No sign of anything about it ever beforehand.
I have my phone plugged in so that it doesn't, try to...
I was just doing that so people would try, not question, what the hell is that weird thing hanging in the corner?
It's a cord. Charger cord.
And sadly, there is no cure for epilepsy.
Nope.
There are medications to help build your seizure threshold, which is quite literally just, basically a tolerance level. Like, it's a big old wall, basically, in your head that seizures have to get through to be able to get you. And some people have higher, seizure thresholds than others. Some have really low. Hers is a little low.
Yeah.
But there are medications that can help try to prevent or manage, control, kind of build up that seizure threshold. Either build the wall up a little bit higher or try to put the wall further away. Whatever image you have to put in your head to understand it better.
He's trying to kill me. He's trying to kill me. And unfortunately, I can't get him back because I can't make him laugh as much as he does me.
I'm just a funny guy.
He really is.
Now, some of the general questions with epilepsy is, how it can affect you on the minor differences or how it can get you in some of the more extreme cases. And some of the minor ones can be simple little blackouts or, I forgot the actual fancy name, the other one.
Petit Malls.
That's it. And it can be literally just a simple, just loss of consciousness for like a minute or two.
Or twitches in your facial muscles or your fingers.
Or eyes rolling underneath the eyelids.
That's facial. It's still facial.
It's a thing. And going to extremes of going into grand mal seizures, which are full body convulsions that can even be severe enough to lead into memory loss or memory regression. And it can be scary.
Look at him taking over my video. He's done a lot of research and a lot of studying into this to help him deal with living with me.
What a good spouse is supposed to do.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
But, a good loving fiance with mango chicken handwriting. But, sounded like I said mango chicken. Now I'm hungry. But, either way. Shit, I just lost my train of thought. Some of the other possibilities with, the seizures are either the loss of or retention of consciousness. Some people are able to, me use big word. Me sound smart. But, But some people are able to actually maintain and stay aware of their surroundings during a seizure, which honestly is the scarier of the two.
At least
for people
level.
to, it's even on the outside, it's still scarier because it's basically you're basically looking at a person that's trapped within their own body, unable to control anything, with them fully aware of it, and you kind of just see their reflection of horror on themselves, and yeah, it can get to you. But
well, I guess that answers the second question on our list.
How does it affect others around you? Either way, I wasn't done. I was going over, honestly, easier of the two is the loss of consciousness. Mainly just because of the fact that for them, they don't feel good, or it can just suddenly snap. And all of a sudden they wake up and just feel like they got hit by a train. It's pretty much just that. Like flipping a switch on and off. Done.
At least as far as feeling goes, like...
As far as feeling goes. Which some seizures can last, a couple seconds, couple minutes to... I think the worst one you've ever had was 15 minutes.
That wasn't how long I was convulsing. That was how long I was...
Unconscious.
Yeah. I was going to say
the convulsion itself only lasted, I think, like
5.
about 8 minutes out of that. But that was one of the grand malls.
Yeah.
And for stuff like the memory regression, the last one she had, she was sitting up on the couch, never hit her head, nothing. And when she came to out of the seizure, she thought she was 14.
And I'm 21 now, in case you didn't know. So I went back 7 years.
Yeah.
Lost 7 years of my memory.
Yeah, and for
I've
her...
only known him for, like, what, 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
only
for
known
her...
him for 5, so I had no clue who he was.
For her, like, her, her memory basically goes from not feeling good, sitting on the couch, to waking up at the hospital. Actually, it ended up being a couple hours of trying to convince her, hey, I'm your friend, trying to help her regain memories, and then convincing her, hey, we should go to the hospital over the course of 2 hours.
By the way, I wasn't aware of this, so, I mean, I don't know, but I'm fairly positive trying to convince me, hey, you're not 14, you're 21, and by the way, you have a kid. I'm pretty sure that was not very easy. I imagine that was a bit traumatic.
The biggest deal is to stay calm and collected, because you don't want to put any extra, stress or, bad vibes on them. Already going through enough. They don't need it.
It's true.
Now, affecting others around you.
See, I was going to go over that question first, because that ties into the last video.
Well, does one cause the other? It depends on the triggers for the specific person.
Versus epilepsy.
Oh, wait. I was completely reading that wrong. Can one lead to the other? Yeah, one causing the other.
Right. Can one cause the other?
No, I was thinking about it wrong in my head. Jumbling around the old building blocks up there. But, there's no real evidence yet of, stuff like fibro causing epilepsy. Though there are, finding out kind of more and more people that have fibro do tend to also, experience seizures. So...
Can't say that's a scientific study, because I don't know for sure. I haven't looked into that, but I am in a support group.
I actually did when you went inside.
Oh, look at him! See? Still doing research. But yeah, I'm in a support group on Facebook for women with fibromyalgia, and someone on there asked today if anyone else in the group has seizures. And apparently a lot of them do. Like, when I was looking at it, there were, like, 20-something comments at the time, and almost all of them were yeah. So that's kind of interesting, that apparently they can cause the other.
Well, what I was thinking of is stuff that can trigger epilepsy, and
yes. Yeah.
Some of the triggers, it depends person to person. Some of the more generic triggers are flashing lights, white noise, stress.
Stress isn't a super big one in a lot of people, but it is for me.
Fairly common compared to some of the other ones. And the other deal with the stress that a lot of people aren't aware of is that it's not just mental or emotional stress, it also involves physical stress on the body. So sometimes the fibro flares can actually be bad enough that it puts enough physical stress on their body to send her into a seizure. And usually if it's from physical stress, it ends up being a grand mal. But some of the other triggers, you know, heat, not eating or drinking enough during the day, just stress.
If your blood pressure is too low or too high.
Yeah, that can do it too.
It's done it to me a couple times, especially during pregnancy.
And as far as the flashing lights, that does mean, because one of the questions somebody asked was, does that mean she can never go to a rave? Unless it is an epilepsy-friendly rave, no.
Yeah,
no, she can't.
And yes, it sucks. They seriously put, like, with the question, that sucks. It was phrased, so you can never go to a rave, that sucks. You know who you are. But yeah, no, I can't go to a rave unless it is specifically an epilepsy-friendly rave, and yes, it does suck. Very badly.
Some of the other things that a lot of people don't realize either is with flashing lights, it doesn't have to be, you know, a strobe light or anything. It could be somebody literally just... You could just be driving down the road and having the sun peeking in at trees too fast. That can cause it. Hell, at a rave, if somebody's, you know, turned away from you and, you know, flashing around a glow stick, if they do it fast enough, it can actually trigger it too. Like, you'd be surprised. Like, hell, sometimes just a quick couple of flashes from the light on the camera can trigger it.
Like, if somebody takes, or if multiple people are taking pictures with flash on, and they're too many, or they take rapid pictures that all have flash, that can trigger it as well.
Now, how does it feel after a seizure?
It depends on the type of seizure. Sometimes I mostly just feel, like, foggy-headed, and my body's a little bit achy, and then sometimes I feel like I got hit by a train. I mean, it depends on the severity of the seizure, how long the seizure was, what parts of me were convulsing. Like, I have some that, the main convulsions are in my back, and those ones, I seriously feel like someone tied me down to train tracks and ran me over several times with very heavy loaded trains. I feel like I should be dead, and it hurts very, very badly.
And honestly, some of the response stuff to it, which also depends on if they can feel it coming on or not, which it's kind of day to day. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
He's zooming through these questions, let me tell you. Like, I have a list of questions, and he's just sitting here covering them, like, no problem.
But some of the response stuff is literally, you know, if it's somebody that you don't really know, see if they have a identification bracelet, or they might have a card in their wallet, you know, with instructions on, hey, here's what to do to help me.
Though, let me tell you, people get mad if you look in their wallet first. Look for a bracelet first. A lot of people, and I've been meaning to get one, but I have not gotten one yet, and my insurance is kind of being weird about providing me one, because they're supposed to provide me with one. But it's a,
TankCare sucks.
Yeah, it's a bracelet that literally...
It's
a bracelet that literally says, you know, I have epilepsy, and it gives information, like, whether, like, steps what to do are in a fold in the bracelet, or if they are in my wallet, or, you know...
But honestly, there's several things you can do, several kind of little myths and misnomers that people believe you're supposed to do. Like,
and some of those are very outdated, by the way.
Like trying to put anything in their mouth to keep them from biting on their tongue. Don't do that.
Or to depress it so they don't swallow it.
You'll fuck up their jaw and possibly bust teeth.
Yep.
As far as moving somebody, unless they are in a situation where they are possibly going to hurt themselves, you know, flailing, beating against stuff, don't move them.
Especially if you don't know if they fell. If you don't know if they fell or how they fell,
don't.
They could have hit their head on something, or they could have fallen in a way that could have fractured or broken their neck. If you don't know, don't touch them. Don't move them.
Safer bet is just
call an ambulance.
Call an ambulance. Or just, you know, 911.
they're gonna send an ambulance anyway. So, same difference.
Yeah, but, you know, people may not know the number of going, hey, I need an ambulance.
Okay, if you don't know 911, well, you might not be in America. So, to be fair, if you're in America, it's 911. Anywhere else, I have no idea.
I mean,
Call
like
emergency services.
Either way. Either way.
My brain's a little everywhere at the moment.
That's another thing that can actually fog with your head some.
Same with fibro. Yeah,
Double stuff.
that one.
Either way. Now on Oreos. But,
I have no Oreos, I have some chips.
done. Either way, some, other things are, you know, responses on making sure you time it. If you're there at the start as soon as they lose consciousness.
Or as soon as they start convulsing. I mean, some people don't lose consciousness.
Time the consciousness, you know, time the convulsion. If you show up, you know, and it's already happening, time the remainder.
Yeah, time from the start that you show up and realize it's happening to the end. And then whenever, like, if you go to the doctor with them, tell the doctor, look, I came in, it was already happening, this is how long it was going on while I was there. I don't know how long before that it happened, but I was here for this long. It'll help the doctors.
Also, any of the pain wake-up response things, don't do them. Don't.
Unless you're a healthcare professional, don't do it.
Because more than likely, you're just gonna...
You can send them into shock.
Yes. Very, very bad shock. Something else to quick cover. Brain fart. Sorry.
He had it. He lost
had it, and I lost it.
Let's see. What questions have you not gone through? Because you were
All of
going through them all out of order.
All of them.
You didn't go through quite all of them.
Yes, I did.
You didn't go through quite all of them, at least on my personal level. Like, did I develop it or was I born with it?
I already mentioned. You didn't have your first one until you were 16 or 17 because
But
it
that
developed
does not
later in
mean
life.
that I was not born with it. I could have been born with it, and it could have laid dormant until I was 16 or 17. However, I
More
could
likely
have developed
it
it
was
later.
genetic and dormant.
That's what doctors believe, yes.
Yes.
But, I mean, we don't know. I wasn't tested when I was a baby. I don't know.
Response tests for when they wake up. That's what I was trying to do.
There we go. Let him go over that.
Like, you know, seeing how long it takes for them to regain muscle control, making sure that they actually steadily regain muscle control, doing grip tests with their fingers, telling them to wiggle their toes, you know, move any of the extremities, asking them if they know the year, the place, you know, other things that can help date to make sure on memory loss. And you got to be patient with it because sometimes coming out of a seizure, they can barely move, you know, let alone even speak. So you got to be patient with it, and you know, you got to give it time. And I'm not talking about, you know, a few minutes. I'm talking about like half an hour to almost an hour, because you got to actually let them build up because they literally basically just had the entire inside of their body just get beat all to hell. Takes a little bit to recover from that.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, I lost it again.
He's good at this. Another question you didn't quite go over. Is it like a hangover? In certain aspects, yes. In others, not really.
No nausea, but oh boy, does that head feel f***ed up.
Yeah, basically. The nausea, it's not usually there. But, if you got really drunk the night before and you ended up doing things that would generally hurt you, then yes, it's like the hangover the next day. Because while you're drunk, you don't necessarily feel it. If you're that drunk anyway. You don't really feel it. But the next day, oh yes you do. And that is basically what waking up after a seizure that has a lot of convulsions is like. Your head's really foggy. You're not entirely sure for a little bit where you are, who you are, what's going on. And you feel like a bunch of people decided to make you a piñata. Not very fun. So in some aspects, yes, it's like a hangover, but in others, there are definitely differences, but there are also a lot of similarities. So, yeah, kind of.
But in some of the closing statements on stuff. If you know, or you have, if you have it, or you know somebody that does, reach out. Try to help, even if it's just something as simple as just hanging around. Trust me, it actually means a lot more to them than you think it does.
Don't hover.
Like, don't hang around like it's a spectacle out of it. But I get
annoyed when people think that, oh, well, she has epilepsy, she has to have constant supervision. I really don't. I am a grown woman. I do not have constant supervision. More or less, just be, think about like a friend in need, lending a hand every once in a while kind of thing. Yeah, ask if there's something they can do, that you can do. Like, if you know any of their triggers, help them to avoid it. Sometimes it's hard, especially if you're new to it. For the first couple years, it was really hard for me to avoid a lot of my triggers, because we were still figuring out what they were. I was in a photography class, and during... the starting photography class wasn't digital cameras for us. It was, the older ones, not as old as
Polaroid.
Polaroid. There we go. Not Polaroid type cameras, but ones that they weren't digital. You had to actually go and develop the film. So
Polaroid.
no, Polaroids they come out the front, shake them a little bit, and they're there. But, no, the ones that we had, they were just generic cameras. Well, not generic, they were rather expensive, actually. But you had to, go into a dark room and process them. But we did that, and, sometimes when people would get done with the machines, and other people were coming in to do their time with the machines, when they'd flip off the light and then flip it back on, that bugged me. I didn't know that it was going to bug me because it's rather slow. I mean, you don't think that sudden burst of light is going to bug you too much, but it does. And we also did a project where we did a project where they were doing strobe lights to try and make different effects with the pictures, and I didn't realize that I couldn't do it, and I ended up in the hospital. So, wasn't that very fun.
Closing statements?
I lost my train of thought again. Did we go over all these questions?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
No, we didn't go through that one.
Yes, we did.
I don't remember going through that one.
I literally did.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You positive?
Absolutely. 100%.
See, this is what happens when he takes over my videos. I don't know what's happening. I get confused, and I'm like, I had this set up and lined out, and yeah, he took over my video. I think he was just excited to share his knowledge. He got excited. So, anywho, yeah, well, that's epilepsy. At least my personal experience with it, and his experience with living with someone with it. If you have any other questions that mostly he did not go over in this video, you can always comment or message me on any of my social media, and I will do my best to get back to you. Or just make another video to go over those questions, whichever. And yeah, if you found this informational, like, comment, share, subscribe, stuff, things. Yeah. Show me some support, guys. It would be nice. But yeah, so that was epilepsy, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, found some information, found it useful, and that's it for this video. So we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.